Welcome to Pop Culture Roulette for all your pop culture needs. We're America's podcast. All
So
right,
they say.
welcome everybody. I'm joined, as always, by esteemed colleague, guest, podcaster extraordinaire Jeremy,
Look,
Guest.
look,
Yo.
look at those titles, promotions.
and also Justin.
Yeah, that sounds right.
So how was everybody over the last week or so? We missed last week. We had some stuff happen. Schedules get in the way.
Tired.
Tired but good.
All right.
I lifted heavy shit all day. Ready to
Oh,
pass out.
it's always fun when you get to help friends move.
Oh yeah.
I've been there many times when when I lived in Florida, every one of us lived in apartments, so it was like once a year. There's like, oh well, I'll help you move this weekend. You help me move next weekend. We'll help everybody else move the weekend after.
Yeah.
So, but we are coming up on Thanksgiving. Now, normally there's not a lot of conversation with Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is like the forgotten holiday. We spend an entire month celebrating the holiday of Halloween, and then the
Mhm.
rest of the world spends the entire couple months leading up to Christmas celebrating Christmas. Netflix has already dropped Hot Frosty.
What? Okay.
Yeah, some basically Netflix is making their own Hallmark movies, and this one is about a snowman who came to life, and of course he's hot, so it's called Hot Frosty.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna watch it, but
I was gonna say I'm gonna have to make sure I missed that.
yeah. But this is the time of year where Hallmark and many other channels are just pumping out just Christmas movie after Christmas movie. Christmas has already gone up in my house this year.
Not yet, not yet.
No, but I like to celebrate Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is one of my favorite holidays, and not just because I get to eat more than I should. I get turkey legs and various other things. There's something about Thanksgiving that I think we, as the three of us, have spent a lot of time. Let's talk about football and Thanksgiving.
That's something we all like here.
We all like football. We're all football fans, not just Packer fans. I think at least I know I still watch college football occasionally. I don't know what either one of you do with college football.
I do when I get the chance, but working all the pretty much every Saturday, I don't get to watch a whole lot.
Yeah, I mean it's the Badgers are kind of sketchy this year, but it is what it is. You can't be perfect every year. I mean, look at Alabama; they're getting kind of crushed as well.
Yeah.
But football and Thanksgiving actually dates back to 1876. Um, the first college football game in general was November 6th, 1869.
Hmm.
It was Rutgers versus Princeton. Um,
Oh,
yeah, we won't get yeah, and then neither one of them has ever been good since.
they were only good when they were the first two.
Yes, that was when they were the only ones that had a football. Um, but so about look at that. It's so 1869 by 1876. They're like, you know what goes perfect with Thanksgiving? Football.
Yeah. Only takes
Um,
7 years.
Yale versus Princeton was the first Thanksgiving football game.
Right.
Shortly after that, Michigan versus the University of Chicago, which I'm not even sure the University of Chicago has a football team anymore.
I don't know.
Started their what is widely considered the beginning of the football tradition in Thanksgiving. They played from 1885 to 1905. That was probably back when the University of Chicago not only had a football team, or one that was in Division One probably didn't even exist. So yeah, I mean, college was like, yeah, we're the kings of football and we're gonna last forever. Well, the NFL started in 1920 and put an end to that. The entire league at that time actually was known as the American Pro Football Association, APFA, which doesn't really roll off the tongue like the NFL does, which is why they changed it 2 years later in 1922 to the NFL. The entire league actually played on Thanksgiving Day in that first year, everybody.
Hmm.
In 1922, the Chicago Bears played the Chicago Cardinals. They actually ended up playing each other from 1922 to 1933. In 1934, and this is where we get to where we stand today, the Lions started their Thanksgiving Day tradition. It began as a gimmick to get people into the stands because even as far back as 1934, the Detroit Lions were struggling to get people into the stands.
Yeah.
Um, they jumped at the chance because it was kind of like a novel thing, like ooh, professional football on Thanksgiving. Like I mean, clearly they had already been doing it, but the owner of the Lions also either owned or had deals in place with pretty big radio stations. So like they were some of the first games to actually get like put out there, not just like newspaper reports. Like they were actually getting broadcast.
Oh,
Um, in 1939 and 1940, FDR decided to move Thanksgiving.
as one does.
Yeah, he moved it because there was a whole reason behind FDR moving Thanksgiving. It didn't make a lot of sense, but he thought somehow it would help the economy to move it a week earlier. Yeah. So through due to scheduling and all sorts of other weird issues that are convoluted at best, it was hard to figure out. And I was like, yeah, we're gonna skip most of that. The only people who played on Thanksgiving in 39 and 40 were Pittsburgh and Philly. Then from 41 to 45, no games were played. Does anyone want to take a guess as to why we
Hmm.
didn't play football from 41 to 45?
What
Or
what
at
was
least
what was going on in the world at
what
that
what
time?
was what
That
was going
that
on?
could that
Well,
could be interrupting
that's when you
thanks
need football the most.
Thanksgiving football.
I think most of the football players were probably overseas, though.
They should have
Um,
had like some scrappy, but just throw them together.
I
More
well
Yeah.
that's
people.
where we got a league of their own.
Yeah.
That's where well what are they calling the lingerie football league, or is that even a thing anymore?
I thought it was
The
still, but I have no idea.
the Legends football or something like that. Anyway, but when it returned, they decided that the Lions were going to be the only one that played on Thanksgiving Day. So starting in 46, the Lions took over as the only Thanksgiving Day football team. Actually, from 51 to 63, it was just the Packers versus the Lions.
Hmm.
Hmm.
The Cowboys started playing in night.
Boo.
Yeah, well, I mean, we do like to make fun of the Cowboys in every episode we have. They started playing on Thanksgiving in 1966. They had only existed for about 6 years at that point. The owner of the team at the time, his name was Tex Schramm, wanted the increased exposure and wanted the home field advantage that would have existed in the 60s of everybody playing on a short week or the team coming to town on a short week and even shorter because like you had to fly in or bus in from wherever you were going, from whatever part of the country you were in 1960. So he was like, oh, it'll be like a guaranteed win for us. And it worked. I mean, starting in '66 when they took over as the other Thanksgiving Day game, it wasn't not too long after that they started being called America's team and everybody started lying about that.
Yeah. Who decided these things?
Newspaper reporters decided it, and we've just bought the lie ever since. Although we
I mean,
didn't,
we didn't.
we didn't. That's why we are America's podcast because if they can make it up, so can we. Uh,
Yeah.
Actually, in 75 and in 77, the NFL was like, hey, Dallas, we're going to take the game away from you. And they moved it up to St. Louis. So Dallas didn't play in those 2 years. Um, but bad attendance and terrible performances by the St. Louis Cardinals, the NFL were like, yeah, it's going back to Dallas. So back and started in 78, it went back. And then in 2006, the NFL decided to ruin Thanksgiving by adding a third game.
Yeah. I don't like the three games.
No, I like the Dallas game, the Detroit game. I mean, I kind of wish it would. I do wish it maybe it would go, and like every team would get a different, a different year where they got to be the home team. But just still two games. Like you don't need three. It's
No.
just
Especially this year with some of those trash games.
yeah. All right. So the first televised game was in 1953 by the Dumont Network, which I think we've talked about before. But Dumont Network was one of the very first networks to exist. It just couldn't keep up after it got going and it died.
Hmm.
Um, and unfortunately, a lot of its material is lost to time.
Oh, lost media, you're saying?
Yeah, lost
Hmm.
media, which one of these days we'll actually do. The first game to be broadcast in color was in 1965.
Wow.
Hmm.
Um,
Fascinating.
a couple notable games. In 1929, Chicago Cardinals Ernie Nevers scored all 40 points.
Damn.
Ernie.
In fact, it's still an NFL record. They beat the Bears 40-6.
Couldn't
He scored all
couldn't
40
happen
of
to a
them.
better team.
In 1976, OJ rushed for 273 yards, which
Yeah.
which
Yeah,
which at
the
the
juice
time
is loose.
which at the time was an NFL record. I think Adrian Peterson broke it not a couple years ago. That
He's
yeah,
been gone a while.
yeah, to say he's been gone long enough that I think he might be eligible for the Hall of Fame. However, whatever the
That piece of
QB's
shit.
name, I forgot to write it down, and it doesn't matter. But the QB for Buffalo went 4 for 21 for 29 yards,
Oof.
and the Bills lost 27-14.
But you didn't write his name down.
No, because he went 4 for 21 for 29 yards, had like a 19.7 passer rating. Why
So
would I?
could still
Why
give the man his flowers.
I don't want to. That's not the kind of performance that gets you credit.
Ah,
1980 was the first Thanksgiving overtime game. This game happened on Thanksgiving. I didn't realize it was a Thanksgiving game. I remember this game. I did not remember it being a
in
Thanksgiving
in
game.
1980.
No, 19. I was two in 1998.
Oh,
Jerome Bettis, and one of the craziest things that has ever happened on an NFL field. Does either of you remember what happened in 1998 to or for Jerome Bettis?
I was 7,
I
so
said not.
no.
I was 11, not off the top of my head.
Okay,
I
that
probably watched the game.
that would be the infamous coin toss game where Jerome Bettis called heads. Everybody but the head ump heard him call heads and awarded the Lions the win, even though it landed on heads, awarded the Lions the coin toss. The Lions then immediately scored in overtime, costing the Steelers the win.
Yeah,
Shortly thereafter, lambasted in the movie Rat Race when Cuba Gooding Jr. played a ref who got a coin toss wrong. But yeah,
as one does.
that is why the rule is now where when you say heads or tails, the ref has to say I heard heads or I heard tails
The
to make
call is tails.
yes, that is why because it was so bad in 1998 that the ref got the coin toss wrong. And then 2012, one of the other craziest things to happen in football, the butt fumble.
Ah, Mark Sanchez.
Mark Sanchez ran into his own center. His own center's butt caused the fumble. The Jets then got embarrassed by the Patriots.
And then I
Uh,
think the next play was the Jets fumbled the kickoff.
it wouldn't surprise me. Although the Jets were actually pretty good around that time because they were coming out. They went to a couple AFC title games.
Yeah, back to back, I believe.
Yeah, but yeah, that was definitely all right. So all time, the Lions have played 84 games, so they've played more than anyone else. They are 37-45-2. The Cowboys have played 56 times. They are 33-22-1. The Packers and the Bears are then at the next highest at 37 times. The Bears 20-15-2. The Packers 15-20-2.
Yikes.
However, I do feel like that's going to change a little bit this year because the Packers have Miami coming to town.
Yep.
Miami does not play well in cold.
Miami is 5-2 on Thanksgiving.
Yes, that is true, but they're also having to play in Lambeau in the freezing temperature, and Tua does not do well in the cold. And the Bears are playing the Lions, who are surprisingly good this year. So,
Yep, in Detroit. And then the other one is the Giants and the Cowboys.
yes. And then the only other team to crack the top five in total number of performances on Thanksgiving, you have the Cardinals at 21 games. They are 6-15-2. So the Ravens, Texans, and Panthers. The Ravens and Texans are 2-0. The Panthers are 1-0. The Jaguars have never played in a Thanksgiving Day game.
There's
They,
probably a good reason for that.
yeah, they've played in London more than anyone else, but they've never played on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that's probably for the best.
The most frequent of all Thanksgiving Day matchups is Lions versus Packers with 22.
Dirty
Nice.
Lions.
So, what are your memories of Thanksgiving Day? Is there any game or any family tradition that sticks out to you guys?
With Thanksgiving football,
Yeah, and this can be anything. I mean, it doesn't have to
I
just.
eat too much to remember what happens at during the games. It's most of it, unless the Packers are playing, it's just background noise. So I don't really remember a whole lot of
Oh
Thanksgiving
man,
football stuff.
have so many great memories of sitting on the couch and watching it.
I mean, yeah, you're right. I think most of the time because I don't care about the Cowboy. Well, I hate the Cowboys and I don't care about the Lions. They tend to be just background noise. I do remember when I was in high school, my youth minister was a giant Cowboy fan, and we tended to have him over to the house for Thanksgiving. So it was a lot of fun that year that Leon Lett, when it was snowing in Dallas, decided to randomly up and touch the ball for no apparent reason,
I remember that game.
and caused Dallas to lose a game that they had won. That was a lot of fun because anytime you get to watch a Cowboy fan cry on Thanksgiving is a good day.
Yeah,
Do you,
that's the 3 o'clock, 3:30 game this year.
yeah,
Is
that's gonna be
Dallas and Giants.
that is gonna be a terrible game.
Yeah, DeVito versus Rush.
Yeah, I mean, just awful. You got the NFL's got to be like, we can flex everything else, we can't flex this.
Yeah. Maybe this is going to be awful enough for them to be like, let's go back to 2 games.
No, no, the NFL has decided they love Thursday games and they want that Thursday night game.
And
I don't,
aren't they going for Christmas next?
maybe I don't know. I think it's going to be a little harder for them to stick on Christmas unless Christmas is a Friday through Monday. Like if Christmas moves to a Tuesday, you're going to have a real hard time scheduling a Tuesday game.
They're playing 2 games on Christmas this year on a Wednesday.
I think they're Netflix too, aren't they? Or is
Yeah,
that for?
they're Netflix games.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, well, let's talk about that for a second. Did either of you watch that debacle?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, I same.
When it
Uh,
didn't leg out.
Good Lord. I was watching it for a while on one of the undercard fights, and I was having no problems. And I kept seeing on Twitter or Facebook everybody complain about it. I'm like, what are you guys could just complaining to complain? And then like when it was not the it was the last fight before Tyson Paul, the girl
Well,
fight.
Serrano and
Yeah.
whoever won that match.
It started lagging out hard and dropping me. And it would be like, you have an internet problem. I don't have an internet problem. You have an internet problem.
That was the best fight of the night.
Yeah, well, I couldn't watch much of it because it kept kicking me out. Um,
Yeah.
and then it did let me back in for a little bit of the Tyson Paul fight, and then it just. I feel like, and maybe you guys can either agree with me or disagree with me. This is just my opinion. Um, Paul might have won the fight, but I think he lost overall because he went up against a guy who was what 58, so 30
Something like that.
has like 30 years on him, and was hitting Tyson as hard as he could, and Tyson wasn't phased. Now Tyson
It
couldn't.
looked like Tyson was pulling his punches though.
Yeah, it did look like he was pulling his punches a little bit, but it was the only reason that Paul won was because Tyson just like he got tired. Like if this had been Tyson in his prime, Paul would have been knocked out in the first.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
I mean
agree.
yeah,
Hands down.
yeah. Like, the Tyson that has to wear a knee brace and is obsessed with biting his glove for some reason.
Hmm.
Oh, they kept bringing the announcers were awful. Oh my God,
Yeah.
they were so bad. Um, kept bringing it up, and then one of them was like, "I've watched Tyson fights. He does this. That's what he does." But the other one was like, "Oh, he's biting his glove. He's biting his glove," and he kept going, "Do you not understand what I'm saying? He has always done that."
Yeah.
Can you explain why Rosie Perez was doing the fight? And
I
that
I can't explain why any of them were doing any of this stuff.
was mind-boggling. It was so. About every 15 years or so, I'll watch a fight. What was the one that you and I went to? It was the McGregor Mayweather.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
So maybe not 15 years, but
Or was it
maybe
Mayweather Pacquiao?
I don't remember. It was one of the two. You and I went to that bar,
Yeah.
and it was just like every 10 to 15 years, I'll get really into the idea of like a boxing match, and I'll watch it, and then I'll be like, all right, this is why I don't watch boxing.
I say if Serrano and whoever she fought have another match, I might be interested in that one.
Maybe. I mean, that was a pretty good fight, but yeah, I don't. When they were going through Paul's history, it's like, oh, okay, so he's beat all these guys that were like 20 to 30 years older than him.
Yeah, and MMA fighters that are retired.
The one guy that he lost to was the one guy that was close to his age.
And an actual boxer. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did enjoy some of the memes popping up like right after it, where it's like Tyson's challenged Babe Ruth to a home run contest. I did enjoy seeing some of that stuff right after they people were just making some of the most ridiculous things with like athletes who've passed on or way out of their prime. So I thought that was pretty funny.
No, I do that list. All right. Anyway, so but for me, like I do watch a lot of football on Thanksgiving, mainly just because it gives me something to do. But it also, when MST3K, Mystery Science Theory 3000, used to be a thing, they all used to have the Thanksgiving Day marathon. So I would watch that um, because I was way more interested in those than I was football.
All right. That says a lot about you.
It does, but I mean, there's a reason why I am the way I am. But did so neither of you had like a Thanksgiving Day game that you would play with family or friends or
No.
No. I had a really fun one where I went to the bar and watched all the games, and then I got drunk before Thanksgiving dinner even started, and I was like, all right, what a day.
Is that fun or is that kind of sad?
It was fun at the time.
No,
Uh,
we didn't really
yeah,
do
who
a whole lot.
remembers fucking Thanksgiving games? It's like a insignificant part of my life. I mean, what do you want me to say? Like a raccoon broke into my house once while I was watching the Dallas Cowboys.
now
Was
I
that
that
could
would
lie.
was that
hold
on
on a sec.
Thanksgiving?
Sure.
That
Yeah.
would be an
Yeah.
interesting thing
A
if it
fucking
actually.
raccoon broke into my house and it interrupted family dinner while the Dallas Cowboys were on in the background. And
I
my
don't even care
aunt had
about.
to like jump up on the table, and then my uncle went out in the garage and got a bat, beat the fuck out of it.
I mean, now I don't even care about the Cowboys. I'm much more interested about a raccoon breaking into your house.
It was
Yeah.
crazy, man.
Wait, is it all right? Just to be clear, is this something that actually happened?
No.
Oh, okay. But that
Ah,
because that
we
would
have
have
we
that
have a storyteller on our hands here.
that would have been absolutely fascinating. Um.
Squirrel went in my house. It wasn't on Thanksgiving for another time.
Oh, okay. All right.
But that is a true story.
We've had all sorts of wildlife.
I when I was in high school, my youth group, the church I was involved in, we always got together and played football, but I don't remember it ever being on Thanksgiving. Like it was every couple weeks, every month or so, we'd get together just as a youth group and play. We played tackle for a long time until we gave one of the girls a concussion, and then we weren't allowed to play tackle anymore.
That'll do it.
Um, but yeah, that was always fun playing football with all the But that was as organized football as I ever played. I never played high school football. I had a teacher in high school who tried to fail me out of one of the classes because I wouldn't go try out. Because I mean, yeah, obviously I'm overweight now, but I'm still big, and I was big then too. But he wanted me to play football, and I was like, I don't want to.
Why? Too violent? You're
No,
worried about your brain.
No, I wasn't. I didn't. I didn't want to be involved in. I didn't really want to be at high school in general. Like I wanted to be anywhere other than there. So the idea of spending more time and effort in being involved in high school athletics made little to no sense to me.
All right.
Like, like every so often you'll hear somebody say, "Oh man, high school was like the best days," or like, "Oh, if I could go back and do it again." No, there's not a chance in hell that I would ever go back and redo high school.
Would go back in a heartbeat.
The only thing I miss is hanging out with my friends and not having to work 50 hours a week.
Yeah.
Well, all right. I mean, I do miss that. I mean, but I don't miss anything about high school. I don't miss class. I don't. I hated it. Like, I hated everything about it. Like, college, that's another matter. But high school, I couldn't wait. I literally had a countdown calendar, like how many days I had left until I could get out of that hellhole.
Wow.
Yeah.
I had a blast and I mostly seen it was
I
fun.
mean, looking back on it, I probably should have enjoyed things more, but I don't know. I I feel like I was an insufferable like douche back in high school.
Back in high school.
Oh,
Let's
I
not.
did I did set you up for that one.
No.
I as soon as I said it, I'm like, well, one of them's gonna take it.
You put it right on the tee.
I really did. I just
Yeah, I don't know. I liked hanging out with my friends. That's about it. I didn't really like going to classes. Still don't. That's why I never went to college. I'm like, I don't want to do this.
you would think for as much as I hated high school, I would have been like, I can't wait to get out and I wouldn't have gone to college, but I went to college and I don't know why. I mean, that's
Well,
a whole.
back then is the thing you're supposed to do.
Yeah, I don't know. Looking back on it, I don't know. I guess that's a different conversation for either a different podcast or a different topic. So, did anybody watch anything over the last couple weeks you want to talk about?
I watched the movie The Beekeeper.
Okay, that's that Jason Statham one.
Yeah.
Okay.
What am I hearing? I'm hearing some weird background noises. I don't know where it's coming from. Yes, it's that Jason Statham one where he's like a retired beekeeper, I guess is what their branch was called, that go in and if there's a problem with something, they go take out the queen. So it's basically he's retired from that and he's actually a beekeeper and he's renting a barn from an older lady and she gets scammed out of her life savings and she also ran like a charity for some children's group and lost all that money. It was like 2.5 million or something she got scammed out of. So she ended up killing herself. So he will goes and seeks revenge on the people who did her wrong.
Oh, okay.
And murder and explosion pursues
So it's a
as Jason Statham would do.
yeah, to say so. It's a classic Jason Statham movie.
Yeah. Yep. Lots of violence, lots of death, lots of explosions.
Trying
The
to
only
remember.
other thing I did recently was I went indoor skydiving.
Indoor skydiving. I've always wanted to do that.
Yeah, you go inside one of those big tubes and you float around like you're skydiving. Got an instructor in there with you, kind of helping you go, like showing you what you got to do, keeping you afloat and teaching you how to turn and all that stuff. And then for one of the flights, he takes you up in the air. So he takes you like 14 to 20 feet up and spins you around and brings you down and takes you up. And yeah, it was all kinds of fun. Don't know if I would do it again. It was a little pricey. And we had to drive 2.5 hours. It was just outside of O'Hare.
Oh, is it that one by the convention center?
It's called I Fly
Yeah.
in Rosemont.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
That's cool. We thought about doing that because every time we go to that convention, we're like right next to that place.
Oh,
But
by the AMC and all that stuff's right there. Yeah.
yeah,
Have you gone to Big Chicken when you go down there?
never been there. No.
It's a fast food chicken joint that Shaq is either an owner of or a founder of.
Ah, that's cool.
Okay, I'm
So,
interested.
so they got some pretty good chicken. And then they have shakes and all that. And they have like NBA Jam arcade machine there
Nice.
that you don't even need to put money in. You can just go play it.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
Yeah. So it was I tweeted at him about trying to get one in southeastern Wisconsin, and he has yet to respond to me.
Hmm.
maybe we can get him on the podcast and ask him directly.
Yeah. Can we get a big chicken? I guess they're building another one in Arlington Heights,
Okay.
which is still about the same distance away.
Yeah, I say it's still a long way just to go for chicken, though.
Yeah, it's still about 2 hours away for chicken. Good chicken though.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I have a NBA Jam on my Xbox, and I can just go to KFC and get chicken. So
Yeah. I'd like to get one of those NBA Jam arcade machines.
that would be fun to have the
I,
arcade.
I need more space and then I want to get some arcade machines. I need space and money. I need to finish my basement and I need money.
Yeah, I'd like to finish my basement too, and I don't necessarily know if I need space so much as I just need money to do
Yeah.
that.
I have a good
That
enough basement. I just need money.
yeah, because I feel like if I had money, I could clean up down there, and then I would have space.
Yeah. Same. Anyway, that's enough of my rambling. Jeremy, what'd you watch?
I don't know. I watched football. I actually
Okay.
do, I really love football on Thanksgiving. The more the merrier. Let's do 4 games on Thanksgiving.
Well, I mean, we can go back to the old days, back when it used to be the entire league played on Thanksgiving
Yeah.
Day.
Yeah, why not?
Is there any basketball games on Thanksgiving? I have there's not.
I think basketball did not schedule Thanksgiving because they know they would lose to football even worse than they already do.
Yeah, they did not schedule
Yeah.
any.
I've let's see. What have I been? I watched a lot of Impractical Jokers this weekend. I've been catching up. I was like a season or so behind. I was a little disappointed to find that Max is missing like half of the new seasons. I don't know why, but I was at least able to watch a lot of them. And then
I thought you meant a guy named Max was
Mhm.
missing.
Go on.
Yeah, I was like, who's Max?
um, I started watching a lot of the Holiday Baking Champion, the Holiday Wars, the
I did
basically
watch some of those.
all the versions that they had for Halloween are now just renamed Holiday
For
Yeah.
Christmas.
for Christmas and Thanksgiving. So, I'm gonna watch those. The Great British Bake Off is back on Netflix. I think actually they're coming up on the finale this coming Friday. I really like that British Bake Off. It's so good. But trying to remember, there was a movie that I watched, and now I can't. I had to watch Who Framed Roger Rabbit and The Dark Knight for some stuff I was recording that has been postponed due to illness on the other side of the podcast that I sometimes guest on. So, but there was something else that I watched, and now I can't remember what it was. Oh well, I'm sure it'll come to me, or it wasn't worth talking about anyway.
Started watching Detroiters. It's a good show.
I
Not sure.
I never watched it when it was on in the first place.
Yeah, me neither. I'm not really sure where I was when this was happening, but it's really funny. It's on Netflix.
Okay.
Hmm.
It's kind of like when I decided to watch Key and Peele, and I was like, why didn't I not watch this when it was on the first time?
Yeah. Why
Yeah.
didn't I watch this sooner? No, that's about it.
So, anybody got any big plans for Thanksgiving, or just taking a low key family approach?
That's it.
All right. Well, that's
Took some days off of work and
I think that's
uh,
why I like Thanksgiving so much, is that it's not like all the hubbub and you gotta go here, you gotta go there. Like you just family and food, and you just get to chill. You know,
yep, that's
whether
it.
football is on or whether it's Mystery Science 3000 or my family was never big enough or like like growing up in Memphis, like most of my family lived in Dallas or California or, other, Minnesota, like all over. So I never really had, like, I didn't have cousins or whole groups of family to, play football and like and then when I moved to Atlanta, all the family was still in Dallas or, California or, so, it's hard to get big groups of people together to play football from the church because everybody's kind of got their group at whatever. But it is what it is. It is doesn't take away from the fact that Thanksgiving is one of my favorite holidays. Maybe one of these days we'll try to tackle a Thanksgiving movie bracket. But I mean, I'm pretty sure
Two.
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles will be the only movie we're talking about. So
Yeah,
Dutch.
I was trying to figure
okay,
out
yeah, and Dutch,
if
but
there was a way to do a bracket with food for Thanksgiving, but I felt like we already did that.
I think we did sides.
Yeah.
Really? Cool. We should do that again.
I
Sure, our
thought
opinions changed.
I thought we did, but I couldn't remember. I was gonna try to come up with one with foods and sides and but
Well,
I couldn't remember.
I really
I,
miss the old Black Friday. I feel
I
like
do, I do too.
Thanksgiving has like a different vibe now. Like my Thanksgivings, I used to go to different relatives' house, and then like we would like get the circulars and just like get all pumped up and like game plan and be like, all right, we're gonna hit this spot, and then by 6 o'clock be over here. And now it's just like, I don't
Online.
know. Yeah, click a button.
Well, Black Friday started the day after Halloween. Uh,
Yeah.
like, oh, our Black Friday sale started November 1st. Then it's not Black Friday, is it? Like,
Yeah.
or Walmart
Yeah.
does their like weekly Black Friday sales. Like,
Yeah.
it's just yeah,
There was
you're.
one like the 6th, and then the other one starts, I think, on Tuesday.
I mean that was a lot of fun back in the day when it was me, Justin, and Tony going to Best Buy and Target and Walmart and coming home with a giant stack of DVDs and some video games and
Yeah. Now you think about all those giant stacks of DVDs you have, and you're like, what am I doing with these?
well, they're down in the basement still. One of these days I'll watch them.
I got like some that have saran wraps from like Black Friday 2016. I
I
was
think
just
I think
downstairs. Like, I saw a copy of like Texas Chainsaw. And it had like the green sticker on it. Like,
I think I do too, quite
Yeah,
honestly.
I'm pretty sure I got one of King Kong that still has the promo sticker on it.
one of these days.
One of these
Is
days
it?
we'll win the lottery and have a lot more free time.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
All right. Well, I guess we'll make this one a little bit shorter.
Well,
Yeah.
what about
Well,
your best dish? Did we ever talk
Oh,
about that?
I'm sure we have, but are we talking about like main course or just sides?
I guess anything.
Okay. Um, I have two, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna step on Jeremy. I'm gonna step on your toes a little bit, but I love the green bean casserole
Hell yeah.
with the French fried onion topping.
But it has to be intact.
Yes, you can't put them on there like an hour before. You got to be like
Yeah.
right before you serve it, you throw the French fried onions on there.
Yeah.
And this is gonna show my southern roots, but I love the sweet potatoes with the marshmallow on it.
mm,
I like sweet potato, but I don't know about
I
marshmallows.
can't do it. I can't do it anymore. But I can do sweet potatoes, but not with the marshmallow.
yeah. I mean, I've always liked the stuffing.
Mhm.
It's always been
Mhm.
one of my go-tos, this
In
stuffing
in the bird or out of the bird?
out of the bird. I would usually go with ham,
Oh, okay.
and then a big fan of pecan pie.
Yes.
Yeah, I like definitely the stuffing and green bean casserole are like top two for me. And I'm a pumpkin pie guy. I don't
Gross.
big fan of that. Maybe a little Cool Whip. Um, Turkey, I just not a fan of.
Ham.
I go with ham too, if I
I,
could.
I always also like the cranberries that came in the can,
Oh,
and then
Okay.
you cut them where the ribs of the can were, into slices.
All right. I like the pecan pie and I like the pumpkin pie. I think I would. I don't like if they're like you can only have one. I might choose pumpkin, but
You're making a mistake.
I like a good turkey leg.
oh, yeah.
We sell a bourbon apple pie at Walmart this year.
Oh,
That's pretty good. A little pricey, but good.
all right. I mean, I haven't had pie for the last couple years, because I well, I've been you know afflicted with the type 2, and I have to be a good boy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But
not me.
I mean, I can still remember.
Just close your eyes while you're eating something else and pretend that it's
Pretend
pie.
it's pie. Smell the
Now,
pie.
now
Oh,
I
eat
know
the
that
turkey.
I know that you don't like pumpkin pie. So Jeremy, has this ever happened to you? And this might be more of a southern thing than Wisconsin. Have you ever bit into a pumpkin pie and accidentally found that you were eating sweet potato pie?
Never really have had that because we just never, yeah, we never really had.
There were many times at Thanksgiving functions or fall related functions when I lived in Georgia where you'd be like, "Ooh," and you'd think you got yourself a nice big piece of pumpkin pie, take a bite. Oh, and it's not like sweet potato pie is bad, but it's when you're expecting pumpkin pie, you're
Hmm.
definitely like
Thrown
kind of,
off.
yeah, you're definitely thrown
Yeah.
off and you're mad about it because you're like, I'm gonna eat this pumpkin pie, and then you're like, oh, it's sweet potato pie.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Surprising. I think we should introduce new dishes. I think it's time.
All
I
right. Well,
mean,
what would you introduce? Right.
all right. Well, this would be a little weird, but right at this current moment, I think like cottage cheese would be all right. I'd like to see some cottage cheese on that table
All
this
right.
week.
I mean, I'm down.
You'd have to put some kind of fresh fruit with it.
You're a psychopath.
You don't, I don't like peaches,
You
but like,
dip fruit in cottage cheese
yeah,
or
I'd
there's
mix
like
it.
I'd put some pineapple in there.
You're a
yeah,
psycho. You're both psychopaths.
I mean,
pears.
I would prefer the cottage
Have
cheese to
you
be.
not had fruit and cottage cheese?
No.
I would prefer the cottage cheese to be by itself, but
If I brought you fruit and cottage cheese, would you eat it?
I would try it, but it's just that combo just sounds like so like it does not belong together at all.
We do sell those where they're different like cups of cottage cheese with fruit in them.
Like I'm trying to picture it. Okay, like what fruit do you like in there?
I like the pineapple.
Pineapple's good.
Pineapple and cottage cheese. What does that taste like together?
Pineapple and cottage cheese.
Oh,
I
God.
I have a weird one for you that I like in cottage cheese.
Okay.
Green olives.
Um, actually,
I
I was about to
wouldn't.
say that's gross, but that actually, I feel like that's accidentally happened when I've been at like Pizza Ranch and I've gotten a couple scoops of cottage cheese next to my salad, and then some of the salad stuff has fallen on the cottage cheese.
It's good. All right, the ones we sell, so I will buy them, Jeremy, next time we're gonna
Okay.
hang out.
Okay.
Strawberry, peaches, pineapple, and blueberries.
Strawberry or peaches probably would be like my choice.
I'm gonna bring all four of them.
Yeah, okay, cool. I mean, yeah, I'm not opposed to trying it, but I just already feel like I've got a bias in my head. Like my brain already feels like it knows what that's going to taste like.
You're already like, I don't want this.
I saw them doing it on a commercial and like I didn't think it was that popular, but I guess I'm crazy. Maybe I'm the mental one.
The
I'm
commercial
the
I
I
don't
mean,
like, the
all
commercial
three
that
of
I
us are
don't like
probably.
in
is
some way.
when they're showing them dipping strawberries in sour cream
That's fucking
Strawberries and
weird.
sour. Yeah, I
on
saw
that
that on a
Daisy
commercial.
commercial.
Yeah, yeah,
No,
that's
no,
I'm
weird.
like,
that that's
no,
Weird.
that's mental. That's all right.
Yeah.
that's a
Strawberries,
no, just no.
strawberries and regular cream, yes.
It's
But
sour
whipped
cream and
cream?
strawberries.
No. Yeah, no. No, thank you.
Yeah, I was like,
Was there any
So,
new dishes you would introduce?
well, that's the thing. Like, I mean, are we introducing just like new side dishes, or are we like we're done with turkey, ham is played out, we're going like deep fried chicken, or
Yeah, yeah.
like, or we're gonna do to Thanksgiving what some people have done to Christmas, and we're going Chinese. We're gonna ditch the American fare altogether, and we're gonna get some orange chicken, some sesame chicken, some Hong Su pork, some
Hmm.
egg drop
Hmm.
soup.
we're just we're
I mean, I wouldn't mind swapping out the main dish. Yeah, I mean, I've never been crazy.
I would like to try to figure out how to get a side dish with something with cornbread and not just cornbread with itself, like some kind of cornbread. I don't know if it'd be like a cornbread stuffing or if you could do some kind of thing like that.
Mission Barbecue. I'm on their mailing list because I signed up for it. Emailed me yesterday or today. They gave me a recipe for their cornbread dressing.
What is
So
cornbread dressing?
I'm assuming it's some sort of cornbread stuffing.
Are you going to make said stuffing?
I mean, I could. I mean, what are the ingredients?
I'm a big fan of cornbread.
Oh, yeah, it is. That's cornbread, sausage, some other kinds of bread, some vegetables.
Ah,
Yeah, all right,
work,
yeah.
damn it.
Jeremy, yay or nay on the cornbread?
I love cornbread. I'm gonna go get some now. Got a good craving for that. How about like cornbread as a base, like could it work as a like a crust for something?
Oh,
Is
yeah.
that
I mean,
possible?
I mean, depending on what you're putting on top of it, yeah. I mean, you could easily.
Strawberries
I
and
was
sour
trying to
cream.
I was trying to think of something with cornbread and chili.
Oh yeah.
I mean, yeah, you could easily do.
That's not good side though.
I mean, I have cornbread with chili all the time. Like,
Yeah, but not for Thanksgiving.
Well,
why
this
not?
year we're gonna do it.
Like a cornbread chili pot pie.
Oh yeah.
You ding ding winner. That's the new side dish for a cornbread chili pot pie. I don't know
Yeah,
how to make it,
it
but
comes in its own little ramekin, and each person gets one.
What's a ramekin?
it's like a little like an
Those
individual.
small little white yet like circular dishes.
Wow, look at you using fancy words.
This comes from watching years of
Sure.
cooking.
Yeah. Jeremy's just the fuck's a ramekin. Yeah.
Nice.
Put the cornbread on the bottom, put the chili on top, and another piece of cornbread, kind of like a shepherd's pie looking thing.
Oh, yeah.
Put a chili pot pie.
Oh, yes.
How about like a Thanksgiving, like I was gonna say like a corn dog, but that's just like classless.
There are no rules for Thanksgiving, though.
All right,
Like
Thanksgiving corn dog with cornbread's outer half.
You could probably make that work somehow.
I mean,
Kind of like a pigs in a blanket, but you can wrap like the ham in like a cornbread roll up kind of.
I mean, Quick Trip
Okay.
figured out how to make the pigs in a blanket with the pancake around the sausage. Why not?
True. Anything's possible.
Yeah.
We probably need to start giving away all the good ideas. Like, or we need to hire. What we need to do is get some celebrity chefs on here that I've been trying to get for a while and throw out some ideas.
That'd be
Yeah.
cool.
All right, that's it. That's what I'm gonna double down my effort on getting celebrity chefs.
All right.
All right, well then, if you're the Bears and you don't know how to stop somebody from blocking a field goal, just remember, stupid never walks alone.
Poor guys.
Comic books have been around for almost a century, and in the last 2 decades, we've finally gotten to see many of these characters brought to life in movies and on TV. On the Moving Panels podcast, we discuss movies and TV shows based on, inspired by, and adapted from the world of comic books. Join me and my guests as we discuss both the good and the bad from Marvel, DC, and even some of the lesser-known comic book companies. Learn what is and isn't from the comics, as well as our nerdy review of the movie or show. New episodes drop every Monday, and you can find us wherever you listen to podcasts. So join us for Moving Panels, and I'll see you on the other side of the page.
Life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and listen to an 80s Flick Flashback podcast once in a while, you could miss it. Do you love movies of a certain age? Do you miss the days of VHS tapes, VCRs, and the video rental stores? Does the thought of another 80s movie being remade seem inconceivable? My name is Tim Williams. I'm the creator and host of the 80s Flick Flashback podcast. On each episode, I'm joined by guest co-hosts to discuss one of the many movies released in the 1980s. We share our first-time watch memories, our favorite scenes, and even learn some behind-the-scenes stories about the cast and crew along the way. New episodes are released every other Friday on your favorite podcasting platform. So make like a tree, get out of here, and go listen to an excellent episode of the 80s Flick Flashback podcast. The ad is over. Go home. Go.